Happy Yorkshire Day from Castle Hill, famous Huddersfield landmark overlooking the town. And I realise there's some horrible wind noise on this microphone, but hopefully you can deal with it in the edit. Right, it's Castle Hill, there's Huddersfield, and it's Yorkshire Day. What are you doing? What did Yorkshire Santa bring you? Lots of presents. So for Yorkshire Day, I'd just like to tell you a little story. I've told this story before on my blog, but here you are for fans of the spoken word. I love Yorkshire. A lot of people think I'm from here, but I'm not. I've lived here most of my adult life, but originally I was from Nottinghamshire. But when I was a kid, and we lived just outside Nottingham, my mother is from London, and all her relatives were in London, and my dad had a job where he travelled the country, but regularly had to visit his head office in London. And so when he did that, all the family used to pile into the car and we'd go to the M1 and we'd turn left and we'd go south to London. And that was great. But I always used to think, well, what happens if you turn right and go north? And I started to have all sorts of fantasies and thoughts about what it would be like to go to the north. And then one day we did. Not quite sure why, but we turned right, we went north. I think we went to Leeds for some reason. But I can remember it was sort of autumn day and it was getting dark, and we went over the Tinsley Viaduct near Sheffield. And in those days, the steelworks were still in operation either side of that viaduct, and there were like sparks and flames emanating from the steelworks, and I thought they were like dragons as the light faded. And that made me think the north was a romantic place. And I suppose around about that time I also read Wuthering Heights, which contributed to my feelings about the north as being a romantic place. And also, one of the things I really loved was the humour of the author Peter Tinniswood. Now, if you've not checked him out, you really should. And Peter Tinniswood was a great author. And one of the things he did was write stories about the Brandon family with the famous sardonic Yorkshireman Uncle Mort. And some of his stories were made into a TV series in the late 1970s called I Didn't Know You Cared, which is just my kind of sardonic, bleak humour. Look it up. I think most of them are on YouTube. If it got cancelled, and I read somewhere that it got cancelled because it was considered to be too much like Last of the Summer Wine. Well, Last of the Summer Wine is just slapstick, isn't it? Whereas I Didn't Know You Care was incredible character-driven, sardonic, bleak, wry humour. And it's wonderful. There was a series of books which were made into radio series called Uncle Mort's North Country, Uncle Mort's South Country, and things like that. But anyway, check them out on YouTube. I Didn't Know You Care. They've absolutely wonderful stuff. And I suppose all those things contributed to the fact that it may have been inevitable that I would end up living in Yorkshire, and I love the place. So happy Yorkshire Day. If you're in Yorkshire, enjoy it. If you're not, why not? Get here and enjoy some of this wonderful countryside, scenery, hills, dales, towns, cities, coast. Happy Yorkshire Day.